What if I told you that deep in the frozen grip of Soviet Russia, a top-secret experiment was conducted on human subjects using a gas that prevented them from sleeping? What if I told you that what happened in that sealed facility was so horrifying, the government erased every trace of its existence? This is the story of the Russian sleep experiment, one of the internet's most terrifying legends. But is it just a story, or is there something darker behind the myth? Let's dive into the details and uncover the truth they don't want you to know. The year was 1947. Stalin's Soviet Union was at its peak. A brutal regime where human lives were expendable in the pursuit of power, control, and the boundaries of science were meant to be broken. Whether it was nuclear ambition or mind control, nothing was too extreme for the Red Machine. According to leaked reports, or perhaps whispers from deep within classified KGB archives, Soviet researchers developed a revolutionary stimulant gas. A compound so potent, it was said to keep a person awake for 30 consecutive days, without any long-term side effects. At least that was the theory. But in the Soviet Union, theories were often tested in the most horrific ways imaginable. To prove their discovery, the regime gathered 5 political prisoners, men accused of treason, espionage, or simply being inconvenient to the system. Enemies of the state, they were labeled. In reality, they were test subjects, expendable, forgotten. They were promised their freedom if they could endure 30 days locked inside an airtight, sealed chamber, exposed to the gas 24/7, with no windows, no clocks, no escape. Just the gas, the steel walls, and each other. Surveillance microphones and one-way mirrors were installed. Researchers observed from the outside, documenting every word, every breath. No physical contact, no interruptions, just silent, methodical observation. The doors were sealed, and the experiment began. For the first 5 days, things unfolded predictably. The prisoners stayed awake, alert, though visibly tense. Their conversations ranged from personal stories to political rants, to bizarre theories about what was really in the gas. They showed early signs of sleep deprivation, irritability, mild paranoia, faster speech patterns. But nothing out of the ordinary. Still, something felt off, like the air in the chamber had changed. Not just chemically, emotionally. A growing unease that settled in, heavy and invisible. But then, things started to change. Subtly at first. The men grew quieter, more withdrawn. Some sat for hours, staring at the walls. One began pacing endlessly, muttering under his breath. And yet none of them slept. Not even for a second. The gas was working. But at what cost? Soon, the real nightmare would begin. And once it did, there would be no going back. By day 9, the subjects had stopped talking to each other. Instead, they began whispering to the microphones. Strange ramblings about disturbing visions, unseen forces, and violent hallucinations. They spoke of shadowy figures watching from the corners, of voices that weren't their own echoing inside their heads. Their words became more fragmented, like they were slipping away from reality, piece by piece. Then came the screams, blood-curdling, inhuman howls echoed through the chamber. One of the subjects ran in circles until his vocal cords shredded. Another smashed his face against the walls with manic glee, leaving trails of blood like paint strokes in a gallery of insanity. Their laughter mixed with crying, often indistinguishable from each other. A chorus of pure psychological collapse. But they still didn't sleep. By day 15, the room had gone completely silent. Not a whisper, not a breath. Researchers used the intercom. "We're opening the chamber to test the microphones." A raspy voice replied, "We no longer want to be freed." Fearing the worst, the scientists unlocked the chamber. What they found inside was pure madness. Small blue diamond, one subject was dead, torn apart. Pieces of his flesh stuffed into the chamber's drains, as if they were trying to dispose of themselves. Small blue diamond, the others were mutilated. Deep wounds covered their bodies, self-inflicted, yet they showed no signs of pain, nor did they acknowledge the injuries. Small blue diamond, one had ripped open his own abdomen and was playing with his organs like a child distracted by a toy. Small blue diamond, the floor was slick with blood. The walls smeared with strange symbols, drawn in crimson. Small blue diamond, the oxygen levels were normal. In fact, slightly elevated, as if the gas had sharpened their senses rather than dulled them. When soldiers tried to remove the survivors, they resisted violently. One snapped a soldier's neck with inhuman strength. Another screamed, "Put us back in! We need the gas!" Like an addict begging for a fix. The researchers, horrified, debated ending the experiment then and there. But command, watching from the shadows, ordered them to continue. The subjects were strapped down, forcefully sedated, and medically stabilized for further observation. But no one could shake the feeling that something inside that chamber had changed them forever. And it wasn't just the gas. But the nightmare wasn't over. When one of the survivors was asked what they were, he gave a chilling response. "We are you. We are the madness that lurks within all of you, hidden by sleep, silenced by sanity. But we are always there waiting." Then, before the researchers could react, he broke free, attacking, killing 2 guards before being gunned down. The final subject was terminated soon after. The experiment was buried. The documents, classified. The witnesses, disappeared. The truth, erased from history, or so they thought. So, is this terrifying tale real? Mainstream sources dismiss it as creepypasta, a work of internet horror fiction, first posted in 2010. But Small Orange Diamond, no author has ever definitively claimed it. Small Orange Diamond, no original publishing platform has been confirmed. Small Orange Diamond and Soviet records are notoriously incomplete, especially when it comes to unethical experiments. There were real Soviet sleep experiments. There were classified human trials. The KGB did erase evidence of psychological research gone wrong. So ask yourself, is this just a scary story? Or a suppressed truth disguised as fiction? Maybe the Russian sleep experiment never happened. Or maybe it did. And the story survives because someone somewhere wants us to remember. In the end, there's one thing we know for sure. When you deprive the human mind of sleep, you don't just rob it of rest. You open the door to something much darker. Something that was never meant to be awake. Speech Balloon, what do you think? Is the Russian sleep experiment real? Or just a twisted tale? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and never stop questioning. This is the Unknown